these meetings. It's kind of like a monologue. I do all the talking. You guys listen for 25 minutes, a half hour. Today, we're trying to get some conversation going back and forth. I'm going to talk about common denominators of different businesses. We're going to talk about the restaurant business and a whole bunch of other businesses. And get some, again, dialogue back and forth. So if you're getting some feedback, you're going to have to mute yourselves or if there's so much noise. And then when you want to talk or participate, just unmute yourself. Let me share my screen. So this is all going to lead up to, again, I think once we understand other businesses, it gives us some clarity on our martial arts business. So the first one, probably going to get some different answers on here because people probably like different types of restaurants. So I don't know if what makes a restaurant good for me is to be the same exact thing makes it good for you. But when you decide to go to a restaurant, what do you think makes a good restaurant?
Consistency in the food.
I like that.
Gotta have a good burger.
Okay.
Clean bathrooms.
Really?
I think customer attention by the servers.
I like P.F. Chang's, and what I like is their consistency in their food. It always tastes the same, and it's really good.
Isn't it crazy?
And of course, they have excellent customer service and nice bathrooms.
It's really neat because when we talk about consistency, I was watching something about Kentucky Fried Chicken. And they have their recipe, and their recipe is so detailed. It's like when they put their ingredients together, put the chicken, they have to turn it 7 times and no more, no less. I mean, it's consistent. So I don't care what country you go to for McDonald's, but McDonald's French fries taste the exact same in every single restaurant. What else makes a good restaurant?
Atmosphere.
I think it's a really, really good one. Because some restaurants you want to go to just because it's kind of cool to hang out. You know, it's like either it's romantic, so you want to go have a dinner, romantic atmosphere, or if it's lunchtime, you want to see some big screen TVs and it's kind of loud and moving. Yeah, I totally agree with the atmosphere. I'm going to put the chef because if I'm kind of thinking of this for a good restaurant. If I was going to go open a restaurant, besides having a nice, clean place, I want to make sure I have a good chef.
Value.
Value? It's kind of neat because in my town, I can go to a restaurant and get a steak and probably pay $12.95, and then I can go to Morton Steakhouse and pay $55. Not the same steak though; it's totally different a meal and experience. Okay, let's go to number 2 here because we have quite a few questions. How do you hear about a good restaurant?
From a friend.
Friend.
Word of mouth.
What else?
Reviews.
Yeah, you really don't hear about it, but reviews. But that's one of the first things I do before I make reservations online or anything like that. I want to make sure I read the reviews. So other people's opinions, even though I don't even know what they like to eat and stuff like that, but it does make a difference. One thing, I've tried to place 2 times now just because they got a real cool looking location. It's probably a mile and a half from me, and it has a good look from the outside. You can't miss it. It's right on the main road to location.
Uber Eats. That's where we find some little gold nuggets.
I didn't even think about that. That's a cool one because when you go on Uber Eats, you're looking for something to eat. They always have recommendations and places near you, and they even have it by category. So if you want Chinese or Italian, why do you go back?
It's good.
Repeat the experience.
So this would kind of be like the same thing for the makes a good restaurant: consistency, customer attention. As long as they're keeping up with that, you keep going back. Just kind of curious, if you go to a restaurant that you sort of like or you do like, you have a either bad meal or bad experience, how likely are you to go back again?
Less likely.
Less likely? Maybe you give it one more shot?
Yep.
Okay. Why would you stop going?
Repeat of the bad experience.
I don't know if you guys, I have a gardener that I hire in my house. I didn't know what to call this, because when I did this, I didn't know if it was a gardener or a lawn guy or whatever you want to call him. What makes a good gardener?
Not killing the plants.
Not killing the plants.
I'm in New York. I have no idea.
But for me, it'd be someone that pays attention to detail.
Anyone else?
Fair prices. Because, I mean, a lot of people are good, but some people overprice.
This is one thing that I do. I'm just going to kind of share this because some people laugh at me, but it's okay. I hired a gardener for my house when I first moved here 2 years ago. When the gardener came, I go, how much to do my house, front yard, backyard, the whole deal? He goes, $75 a month. I go, no way I'm going to pay you $75. He goes, what? I go, I'm going to pay you $150. I'm going to give you twice as much as you wanted. This guy does a phenomenal job. I didn't think it was a lot of money, but we had a hurricane a little over a year ago. We had the hurricane. I was the first house that he did, and he cleaned out the pool and everything for me. So I do that a lot of times. I did that with my car detailer too. Car detailer wants a certain amount of money. I go, I'm not going to pay you that. So my pool guy wanted $85. I go, no, not going to do it. I'll give you $100. But sometimes that paying a little more is really huge on the way people treat you. If you didn't live in New York and you're looking for a gardener, someone to do your yard, how would you find one?
Google search.
Google. Anyone else?
A lot of people go on Yelp or just review sites.
Referral.
Groupon?
Referral.
A referral, right.
And
I'd
you
probably
have
go
to
on.
use
I'd probably
the
go
guy- the guy.
Does anyone belong to one of those sites called Neighbor? And
That's what I was about to say. I'd go on Nextdoor for the neighborhood that I'm in and post it on there.
Yep.
You could easily see who comments and ride by and look at their yard.
Yeah, exactly. In fact, I did that one time when I first came to Florida. I just went around to my neighborhood to see who had the best looking yard, and I started asking who do you use for your lawn service. You know, it's the same thing. It's all about results, right? Just the results of a restaurant. You want good results. You ask people there to getting good results. Find out what they're doing. Well, skip this one. Why would you hire a replacement?
If
The
they
quality
fail,
drops. Yeah.
They stop showing up for work.
Cool. All right, we're getting somewhere now.
They're not showing up consistently.
Yeah, I got that one there. You know, no show. In fact, my guy just did that. The guy just paid twice as much, didn't show up last Saturday. I got to give him a call. So what makes a good church?
Good morals.
Great message.
Community.
I'm going to put pastor. I mean, pastor's the real reason I keep going back to the same church. You know, I like the communion and everything, but I like his presentation. I like that he's available to everyone. So I think the pastor makes it.
I agree.
If you moved to a new town, how would you find one?
Location, something close by.
Any other reason?
Depending
Neighbors.
on your, depending on your religious beliefs, is something that's close by to you.
The one I found out, the one I go to now, I was just invited. My neighbor was talking to me, and he invited me. I went once, and I was kind of hooked. First one I went to, I didn't compare churches. I was invited, and I liked it. What makes you keep going back?
The experience, the message, the way it makes you feel.
Can we go back to that point where you said the pastor is available for everybody?
Yep.
Okay, so that's great. And then there's another point to that, like Joel Osteen, he is one of the biggest church in America, but he's not available to everyone. And his most important thing is his message. That's what he spends most of his time. He doesn't do any weddings, doesn't do a lot of that stuff. He delegates it to other, I guess, pastors.
Do you think going back to church is because of the message or the pastor? Would it matter who's giving the message, or does it matter who gives the message?
I think it depends. Like when you look at Joel Osteen, or you look at the pastor here, Pastor Miles, he's so charismatic. You know, it's probably the same message, you know, about Jesus or whatever it is, but it's the way that they deliver the message that resonates with you because you can relate.
Cool. If you were going to a bank and they changed tellers, would you change banks?
No.
If you were going to a hairstylist and the hairstylist went to another place, would you change places?
Might.
Yes.
Yeah, it depends.
Sal wouldn't.
I don't need a specific barbershop.
He just needs a sharp razor.
That's
That's
right.
right.
No, 'cause
I could go to Uber barbershops.
I remember when Paul Garcia left, he quit his school. He didn't quit his school. He sold his school in Rhode Island to come work for me in Florida. And he was really, really worried that once he left that school, everyone would quit. And what happened is no one quit. And he couldn't figure it out. He goes, man, I guess people didn't like me. They were just came there to do martial arts. I think there's a half and half. He trained people really good to take over his position. So I don't think people really missed him. They loved the experience, and the experience was the same. But I do see martial arts schools lose students when an instructor leaves if they're really connected to that instructor.
Well, so I have a personal experience about that. I just lost 3 instructors, and so far only 2 people have put in their resignation for 60 days, and they're still thinking twice about it.
Right.
So that says something about not just the instructor, but how the culture is. And so anyways.
Yeah, so it's not the exact same thing as the church, because we said if the pastor left, you may leave. It's more the presenter, but it's not really that martial arts school. As long as you have someone good to fill the shoes. I agree. So after we kind of think about that, other businesses, let's get right down to martial arts. What makes a good martial arts school?
Quality instruction.
Well, yeah, relationships you build.
Relationships.
It's just like everything that we talked about in the restaurant. Consistency in their instruction, consistency with their instructors. It's the atmosphere. It's the the cleanliness of the bathrooms and the facility. It's the guy who runs the whole entire show and how he likes to, what's his culture of his studio? Is it more of a fighting school, or is it more of a life school? All those things that matters to the majority of the people is what keeps them there.
Okay, the last thing says what matters to the people. So it's not about the instructor. So would you say that's true, Sal? It's not about the instructor; it's about the student's experience.
Well, let me just say that the instructor makes a huge difference in the retention, right? But if everybody was teaching, the same stuff, but has their own little flares because everybody's a different person, that's all good. The instructor makes it fun and all that stuff. But if you have consistency when people do leave, and they will leave, because it's not like all your instructors are there for life. But what I realize now is, no, so long as you have an instructor who's capable and teaching what you're supposed to be teaching, they'll probably stay, like in my case. But it does make a difference. I mean, if you have crappy instructors, I'm sure they're not going to stay. So you got to train them.
What else makes a good martial arts school? Let's just switch the question around. What makes the difference between a martial arts school in one town that has 100 students, in the same town another instructor has 300 students? Why would that happen?
I was going to say what they offer, what services they offer. Some services are just a strict martial arts school, and then there are places that have, events and outdoor, things going on, or camps, what else is offered.
Yeah, I agree with that, because in my instructor's case, he has like 75 to 100 students, and it's a smaller school, like less than 1,000 square feet. And he doesn't do a lot of that stuff. He teaches all the classes, and this is my master instructor, and he's been doing it for 20 something years, and he's never gotten it up to maybe 150. And it's probably because he likes that short, intimate group. That's how he likes it. In our case, it's what he just explained. It's the culture of, hey, we do all kinds of fun events. It's a family atmosphere, so there's a lot of things for the family to do. Padres games, swimming, beach day, Halloween party, end of the year, awards banquet like the military would have, all kinds of stuff, seminars. So it's not just the class that you're paying for, sort of like a YMCA, you're paying for the experience, sort of like a Starbucks, why you don't want to, or you just pay $1 at AM PM versus $5 at a Starbucks, because you have an atmosphere.
I think the attitude of the instructor system has a major impact on the outcome of the school.
You just got some good stuff right there. What Sal was talking about, and even Joe, they're talking about an expanded market. So it's not just martial arts, it's the whole culture and everything, so it's an expanded market. So you're not really looking for, if this is the entire market in town, you're not really looking for this. You're looking for at least appealing to by offering more services. So if I was a school that was just for adults, I'm going to get a small part of the market. If I do adults, I got kids, I've got a fitness program, I've got workshops, now I'm expanding my market. And I think that goes along with the attitude of the instructor. That's going to increase it. I noticed my friend Scott Axsmith did a seminar yesterday. He talked about identifying your avatar. Did anyone see that advertisement?
I did.
What does even that mean? Just describe your avatar.
Like your
Avatar
ideal
is the
customer.
person that you're looking for, the definition of your client.
Aha, right.
Yeah.
Your ideal student.
The student.
That was really cool because I really liked the way he put that, because most people I couldn't figure out what he was even talking about, so I started looking it up before his event. And he's really describing his ideal student. I think it's really important. Some people go, I just want everyone. Well, you're not just going to get everyone. When I had my school in Florida, I was a kids family-oriented school. If I had someone come in comes in, he's like a biker, and he said, man, I really want to learn how to fight because I've been watching a lot of kickboxing on TV. He's not my ideal student. Could I have gotten him to sign up? Probably, because I could have said the right things that weren't true. To appeal to his interest. But even though I signed him up, I couldn't keep him. So, I mean, that's not my ideal student. But I did recommend him to another school that I thought would be a good experience for him. It's really neat to choose your ideal student. I was talking to a client yesterday, and he goes, I don't want to teach anyone under 8 years old. He goes, to me, it's just a waste of time. That's okay. I mean, you just decrease your market a little, but long as you know what your ideal student is, now you're going to go after that person. You create your experience around that ideal student. You can create your events around that ideal student. And everyone probably on this list has a different one, but it's really important for you to sit down and think about that and write that down. What is your ideal student? And be specific about it. One of the things that I had when I had my school in Coral Springs, I wanted to teach young kids who had successful parents but didn't have the time to teach their kids to be successful. So I was in Coral Springs. A lot of people were very successful, and I knew the areas of town they lived in. I'd really like to have their students in my school, because since they're successful, they want their kids to be successful. If they don't have time, they would be willing to pay good money to give those life values, those work ethics, and teach it to their kids. So that was kind of my ideal student. So everyone should spend some time on really identifying their ideal student, and then make sure that your school, your marketing, your program, and everything is consistent with that. How do people hear about martial arts schools?
Birthday parties.
I'm going to put mass intros in that, because to me, a birthday party is a carefully crafted mass intro.
Referrals.
Word of mouth.
All the whatever 12 pillars that you could think of: website, Google, Yelp, outdoors, elementary events, different monthly events that they have throughout towns. We're anywhere and everywhere just to brand and be the martial arts of choice.
Yeah, schools are a big one.
When I ask people, how many people they sign up per month, they'll tell me 5, 10, whatever. I go, how do people come in? I usually get 3 things: referrals, website, and saw my sign. Let's go back to word of mouth. Why aren't more people talking about your school? Or here's another question: how can you get your students to talk about your school? If word of mouth is so important, when we talk about restaurants, people hear restaurants, word of mouth. We talked about gardeners, referrals, word of mouth. Martial arts school, word of mouth. I mean, when people hear about your school and they come try your school, they probably know almost everything about it. It's so easy to sign up someone when they're referred. So how do we increase word of mouth?
Something that we've done referral contests. We give them an incentive to talk about us. Another time, we literally just told our clients to refer people. We just kind of, there was a point where we were just saying, we make our living off of teaching martial arts, and in order for us to continue doing this, we need you guys to go out and tell, 2-3 people. Sir. Sometimes you just need to ask to get that name. Some people just see the number of people in class and they're just like, oh, they got it. And
okay, so VIP contest, ask.
We really push parents posting on social media of the classes.
How do you do that?
We tell them to pull their phones out.
Okay.
And we'll highlight their kids, or we'll be doing a specific drill in class and, celebrate the kids and just tell the parents, pull your phones out, guys. Let's get this on your Facebook, Instagram. So we'll do the drill again right then.
Okay. More ideas for word of mouth.
That's something I got from that Tulsa Instructor College from Mr. Frater.
Yep.
He's so good at just stopping the class and telling the parents to pull their phones out. So just absolutely. And if you follow him, you'll see him doing it in class. It's made a difference for us.
Very cool. Any more ideas here?
I think classes just got to be fun and worth noting. It's got to be something that the parents enjoy and the kids enjoy. And so when there's that natural, the best referral is not even asking. I mean, yes, it's nice to ask, because if you don't ask, you generally don't get. But generally, just like in the restaurant business, they don't ask. None of the PF Chang's waitress or waiters or all these expensive restaurants that we go to, they don't ask for you to refer them. It's just the experience was so great and the view was so awesome and the food was so delicious that you're naturally inclined to tell people about it because you want your friends to know about it. That's the ultimate referral, essentially, I think.
Bingo. I love that one. There's a martial artist, Neil Busick, and he's got a school about 25 minutes from me. I went up to watch his classes the other day, and while I was watching classes, I found myself kind of giggling or laughing along with the instructor, because the instructor had a good sense of humor. The woman next to me, I could actually hear her laughing. And I go, man, these parents are having a good time here. I'm sure they're going to tell their friends about their kids' experience. So the fun in class, I think, is real important. But the most thing is your school's got to be remarkable. And when we say remarkable, there's a reason for people to remark about it. Neil also had a community event at his school. It wasn't just for students. It was May the 4th Be With You. He put it out as a community event. He filled the first one to capacity. The second was almost to capacity. He signed 6 people up on a summer program that day. The following week, he got 8 more people just from people talking about the event. So when these parents went back to work, and this is what I'm just imagining, people go back to work. What'd you do this weekend? Oh, my kid went to this free event at this martial arts school, and they did this, this, and this. So again, just like Mr. Convento said, we're not asking people to talk about it. The event was remarkable. It was like a big part of their weekend, so they want to talk about it. I was looking over an old advertisement for my school in Florida. This was just a couple weeks ago, and I had 3 events planned for summertime. I had Ed Parker. Ed Parker was alive at the time. He came down and did a seminar. I had Remy Prezes, the artist dude. He came down and did a seminar. And I had Billy Blanks the following month. So I had 3 months in a row, 3 superstars. You know, my students and parents were talking about those events. It wasn't just having a class, but now they have a class of Billy Blanks who did Taibo. They had the founder of American Kenpo. Everyone's taking pictures, sharing these pictures. I didn't have to ask the students and parents to talk about this. This was just a cool, over-the-top experience that became remarkable. Remarkable thing could be when you have your summer picnic and you're doing all kinds of fun things at the summer picnic. Last year I went to a summer picnic for my kids' martial arts school. It's owned by Ben Cohen down here in Florida. They did it in a park, but Ben had got these huge inflatables. He had a huge inflatable slide. He had bounce houses. People were taking pictures. I'm sure everyone went back to work the next week, or the kids went back to school or talking to their friends, and they're remarking about this martial arts school. When he did this picnic, it was for students and friends. And again, a lot of people will bring their friends to an event before they actually bring them to your martial arts school. I've got, I don't know if you can see this, but this is a bulletin from my church, and they're having a picnic in the park this Saturday. The park is only a mile away from the church, but this is going to be packed because when people have kids and they're going to have all kinds of water slides and fountains and everything there, it's easy for people to bring their friends to this picnic. After they go to the picnic, they're going to talk about it, and it's sponsored by the church. They'll get some new members. But again, they're giving people something to really talk about. So they're not just talking about the service. They're going to talk about everyone going and bringing food to this and having a great experience. So I think, how do you hear about the school? We love word of mouth. And I think Sal just hit it on, ask. Having a VIP contest is good, but we just want it to happen naturally. So making the classes fun, making the classes exciting, having the students learn about things besides just martial arts, the life skills, having special events, special guests, just doing something crazy like dodgeball on the weekend. All these events give something to talk about. And why do students stay?
It's fun. It's exciting.
What's that? That fun is not forever.
Progress.
Who said that?
Johnny, progress.
They'll stay where the love is.
Okay. Johnny's got it right here, man. Progress. If people see progress, they have high interest. If they have high interest, they come to classes more. If they come to more classes, they see more progress. It's all about progress. So when you start thinking about progress, tell me how we transfer that to the student.
Belt striping. Graduations.
Pardon me?
Graduations. Pins.
What was that, sir?
Pins.
Pins.
Yeah, my kids love the pins. Every month, they're like, I did my homework. Can I get my pin? I'm like, yes, you can.
Johnny's talking about the Black Belt Excellent worksheets. When the kids finish their worksheet, they get a pin that says they accomplished coverage, something like that. Okay, this is old school. This is OG right here, right? Paper clips. Anyone use those? Say this is old gangster right here. Paper clips, or you just get different color paper clips, and when you catch someone doing something good, you put a paper clip on their belt. It seems, I know, it's not silly. My grandkids get paper clips at the school. When they get new belts, they ask the instructor if they can transfer all the paper clips. If you just want to just try it, go to the store today, get some paper clips. Say, if I catch you guys doing something good, I'm going to tell you what you did good. I'm going to give you a hard worker clip. And the hard worker clip is a paper clip. Yeah, I'm going to give you this one too. Be a good finder. David may not know he's doing good, but I go, David, man, I got to tell you, your horse stance is rock solid now. I just can't believe the difference in the last 2 months. Come a good finder. Tell them that they're doing good.
You can do good job notes as well.
Pardon?
You can do good job notes as well. Send it to the house.
Good job notes. I like you because notes.
Friends. Kids stay with friends.
Friends.
I try to make kids, like when I find a kid that doesn't have a friend or doesn't know anyone or that goes to a different school, I try to partner up with somebody that they would get along with. And usually they become friends. And then, my friend, like I have this girl named Sabrina, landlord's daughter. So the girl Stella, they don't go to any of the same schools, but now they're best friends because I kept partnering them with each other.
Man,
Samey.
Guys, that's like super, super important. People quit karate, but they won't quit a relationship. That's why we have all these events in our school. The events are designed to build up friendships. What Johnny does is he has them pair off in class. When I did my class, we paired off, and they would always pair up with their favorite friend. And then they would switch partners because I want them to get friendly with more kids. Super, super important. So the whole idea was this. It's just to give you some ideas. So now you can come up with a list of maybe 5 things where you need to put more attention in. So maybe it's attention in your instructor training, because we talked about good restaurants, we talked about the chef, we talked about a good gardener, the attention to detail. So the skill in the job, maybe the skill in the job is where you need to put your attention. Maybe it's the culture. I was watching a school recently. I really had a hard time determining the culture. There wasn't a lot going on. I really couldn't tell if it was a kid's school or adult school. I just stopped in to watch classes. So maybe it's building up that culture. Maybe it's your ideal student. I'm taking everyone, but I really want to focus on personal development. So I'm really looking for personal development. Maybe you're thinking more athletic. You're kind of listening to Roland Osborne, and he's going, I'm looking for kids that want to be athletes. And these kids want to dedicate and be in really, really good shape, and the athlete is where your ideal student is. Maybe it is consistency. I've got 5 different instructors. Each of my instructors teaches a little bit differently. My classes are only as good as the mood of my instructor. So I don't have consistency. When he's in a good mood, I got good classes. If he's got a bad day, classes suck. So maybe I have to put some attention in consistency. Maybe I do the progress and goal check 1, 2, and 3 most of the time. Well, most of the time it's inconsistent. So maybe I have to put a little more attention there. Maybe it is like my classes are remarkable, my events are remarkable most of the time, but they're not totally consistent. So start thinking about some of the things we talked about. Again, I hate to have anyone get overwhelmed. So maybe it's like, referrals. People talk about referrals. Zach was saying when he goes to his restaurant, he's looking for good referrals. Are you looking at your referrals for your school, and do you have 5-star referrals, or do you have a lot of smaller ones in there that you want to either bury, you want to all of a sudden get more 5 stars on the top? Maybe then that's an area that you want to work on. We talked about inviting students to bring in friends. What's happening at your school that they can invite someone that's not a class. They're inviting them to class all the time. What can I do that's more fun that they can invite people? And we're talking to Jerry Prince from Zach's school last Thursday, and he was talking about all the pizza parties he was doing. I think he did 4 on one Saturday, back-to-back 4 pizza parties with 10 to 15 kids. That's like 40 people on his mat in one day. So maybe I can do more invitational type events. So that was the whole goal of this, is talking about other businesses. A lot of times we recognize other businesses doing something really good, and we don't really relate it to the martial arts. Business is business. People are people. If we treat people good and they see that it's not about us, it's all about them. Maybe that's something you could work on. So try to list 5 things before you're done today where you can put more attention. And again, we're seeking to get a little more improvement, serve more people, and keep our students longer. Any questions or anything you want to talk about?
So we have an ideal student, or an idea of an ideal student. Is there an ideal parent that we should be targeting? Could be targeting?
Well, I think that would kind of go hand in hand. I think when you start thinking of your ideal student, you probably think of the parent also. I know one of the things I liked was the very involved parent. That's why I had so many chairs in my school. I think if you ever watch Derek Frater do Instructor College, he really likes the parent that's going to get involved. He hates it when the parents are watching their cell phones or doing something else in the class. So he makes sure that he involves the parents in the class. So yeah, I think there is an ideal parent.
That's awesome. Thank you.
All right, guys. Good job. Great talking to everyone. Mr. Siokis, I will see you later.
Yes, sir.
All right, guys. Take care.